Hey beauties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm really excited for today's video. So I have received the new lipstick at Dior, the Sequin, the Rouge Dior Sequin Liquid Duo. I picked up two shades. I've got 222 ribbons and 720 spectacular icon. Obviously, I have not tried them yet, so we're gonna do that together, swatch them, and I also want to compare them with the Chanel Duo Ultra Le Gloss. I can't remember the name. Obviously not quite the same, but also very important to compare both of them. Obviously, Chanel and Dior are completely different products, but I'm very curious to see how they compare because I have been a very big fan of Chanel, obviously the Dior one, and I'm going to go straight to it. It is not transfer proof once you've applied the gloss, but I still want to see how they compare onto the skin and see what's the difference. So let's look at the Dior Rouge Sequin Liquid Duo. It is a long wear liquid lip duo, sequin color with a glossy shine. There are 10 shades available and they are part of the limited edition for the holiday 2025, the Circus, Spectacular Circus collection at Dior. As I mentioned, there are 10 shades. I only picked up two because I'm quite curious to see how they feel on the lips, how long they last. Obviously, I have seen, as probably just like you have, a lot of videos on YouTube, Instagram, wherever you get your feed from. The colors are absolutely stunning. They seem to be a very high payoff, very good pigment, but then it doesn't say, like, for me, I need to try it. I need to see how it feels on my lips before I commit to either buy all 10 shades or just stick with two, or maybe just add a few ones. So I'm actually really happy. They have changed their formula. So last year I picked up two shades and I had 100 nude and 999 sequin. So the typical, that's the classic red at Dior. The last year's formula was really good, much better than the previous year that was kind of just peeling and it was really not flattering after a while. So let me just swatch now. We're just gonna do a full-on comparison here because I really wanna give you a proper overall look of the product this year. So I'm gonna go, this is from last year. This is shade Nude 100. And this shade was really, really nice. This was last year. I'm going to press my lip to activate the sequin glitters. And as you can see, there is no peeling. It's a really beautiful formula and there's so much sparkle. I have to say this shade was my favorite from pretty much all of them. Just because it's a nude shade, you can really wear this almost all year around. It doesn't matter. You do have, like, you see the sequin, you see the sparkles, but it's not over the top sparkly. It's festive, but yet quite easy to wear, quite easy to pull off. Very long lasting, super comfortable on the lips and completely transfer proof. So this is what we had last year, and obviously I've not worn them. I haven't worn them enough, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. I just have so many lipstick. But I really, really liked last year's formula. I think it was a stunning formula. As I said, long lasting, really, like, it doesn't sit in the fine lines. It was just a really well done, really well executed formula. You know, you don't feel like you're wearing anything. So I'm just really hoping that this year, because you have those two layers, I hope it's not going to be like turning into a bit of a muddy, glossy mess. I don't know. But so far for me, last year was an absolute winner. The year before was a bit meh. You had like separation. It was kind of sitting in the fine lines and the sequin were not really appearing. So let's see. So I'm going to remove this one and let's see. And we're going to swatch for the ones of this year and then try them on. All right, I removed the one from last year and it's so hard to remove because it is such a long lasting formula. It just grips onto your lips and that's it. It's there for a very long time. And also it's a matte lipstick. despite having all the sparkles, it is a liquid matte formula, so it does last really long. So my lips are already sore. I know, first world problem, I know, but it is what it is. So I'm really excited for this one. I really hope I'm going to be liking them just as much as I'm liking last year's formula. And I have to say, the product look very luxe. It's a stunning packaging. I'm happy they've changed the packaging. I mean, it's not that far off. You still have the golden lid, but it's looking very festive versus the year before that where you just had the black lid here. Is that true? Yeah, this was the previous year, so the year 2 years ago, and obviously this was not as festive when you compare them, but otherwise the rest was the same. But this one, the formula was not the best, not the best. To be fair, like now I think obviously they have expired because that's like over 2 years ago. Right, so I'm going to swatch the 2 shades on my hand, the ones I have from this year, and I think this is actually not too far off, so it's gonna give us a good idea. So on the box, the instructions are really clear. You apply the liquid lipstick with the sequins first. You need to let it dry for 5 minutes before you apply the gloss. So once it's dry, you press your lips against each other. You press your lips together to reveal the sparkling glitters, and then you apply the gloss. So it's a full-on 5 minutes of you can't do anything. You literally can't do anything. So I'm just gonna apply it on the back of my hand. Ooh, I like the shade. You know, most of the time I order my product online, so it's always a little bit tricky to see actually how it's going to look. But so far I'm quite happy. And the other one that I have is 720, because I have the whole collection of the 720 icon shades. I have the blush, I've got the lipstick, there is something else that I have as well. I absolutely love the shade. So these are the 2 shades. So obviously now I need to wait for like 5 minutes until I can press them and reveal the glitters. But I want to swatch the 2 other shades that I had from last year and compare a little bit. Actually, the nude was a little bit more warm. So this is last year. This has more of a mauve undertone to it. This one is your nude 100 nude from last year. And I had 999, sorry. So obviously it's a red. So I didn't pick up the red this year because I felt like it was a little bit of the same. This was last year's red. But I would also be curious to see if I'm just using the ones from last year and just add the gloss on top of it. Like, will we have the same kind of look? You know, if you already have the shades, you like the shades, just top it up with the gloss and you might have the exact same look without, I don't know. You already have probably a gloss, so you can use the gloss from Chanel. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have the same kind of end result. So let's see, we're gonna play with a few options here, but for now I'm just gonna let it dry and give it a minute or so. Right, it's more or less dry on my hand, and if you see, so this one has a gold sparkle into it, and this one is definitely a cool tone, and these were from last year. You know, not too far off. They're not quite dry just yet, but it's going to give you a good idea. This was the nude from last year, and this is the ribbon from this year. It's, you know, it's quite similar in terms of shade. I really like the 720 icon from this year. Look at this sparkle. And once it's dry, I mean, there's no transfer. It's really just not moving. Well, it's not dry yet, but it will become completely transfer proof. I did apply quite a thick layer onto my hand. So let's apply the shade Ribbon. we wait 5 minutes or so until it's dry. Right, so it's been about 5 minutes. Definitely completely dry. And now we have loads of sparkles. If I were to compare just this, the liquid matte lipstick like this versus last year, I would say last year was a little bit more comfortable. This feels a little bit more dry onto the lip because last year it was kind of just a one in all formula. It was a little bit more velvety, even though completely matte and transfer proof. I think there was a little bit more of a velvet or softer finish to it. This feels a little bit more like it's completely dry on my lips. And now the moment of truth. You know, I really like those super shiny packaging, but the minute you put your fingers onto them, they don't look as luxe and, you know, clean as they are when they just come straight out of the package. So let's apply the gloss. Okay, we need to add a little bit more gloss. This is how it looks with the gloss. I think a shade like this, now that the gloss is on, I can barely see the sparkle. Like, I don't know, it's very glossy, it's very comfortable on the lips, but it's no longer transfer proof. And now I can barely see the glitters. I don't know, I feel like I preferred last year's version in this shade. So far, in the same shade. Obviously, it's not the same look. Now I have a glossy lip gloss. I have a glossy lip. Very, very soft. You barely see it. It's quite hard to see. And yeah, I don't know. Like, have they ruined the product from last year? Or it's just completely different? I think it depends. It depends what you prefer. Do you want to have something that is properly sparkle, no transfer, and stay there forever? Or you're liking a glossy, sparkly-ish lip gloss kind of look? It's really up to you. Obviously, if it's windy, your hair will catch and it's going to be sticking in your lips forever. And you will have to reapply this lip gloss in no time because, I mean, like it's on my hand. So obviously, it's not transfer proof. And I do see a little bit the glitters, to be honest. Not too much, just a little. But yeah, I don't know. Let's try the other shade, let's see. Okay, let's try the other shade in the new formula, the 720. And here we go. Need to add a little bit more. Let's see, we're gonna let it dry and see how it looks. Right, it's been about 5 minutes and I don't know, I think I collected my thoughts between during that 5 minutes. Yeah, okay, so right away this shade is nicer. No, it's not nicer, but we see more the sparkle on this shade versus the lighter shade. But you know, it's kind of missing. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. Last year I think, honestly speaking, I preferred last year's version. I think, but that's very personal. I'm not saying this year is not good. That's not what I'm implying, but I just think that I preferred last year's version. Yeah, like, I mean, it's not perfect. There's a bit of a miss here, but also I've been playing with, you know, on and off the lipstick on my lips, so it might just be my lips being tired, but Let's add the gloss. It needs much more gloss. Okay, so here's my takeaway right now. The sparkles is showing much more on the darker shade versus the lighter shade. So this is, you can see the sparkle, you can actually see that with the gloss you still see the sparkle, and this is beautiful. I really like this. But this shade here, you could barely see the sparkle, obviously because it's a much lighter shade and the sparkle is silver. I think it's so dimmed down that you can barely see it, and because of that I do prefer the one from last year, this one, because here you can, you see it but not as much as the one from last year. Like there is a noticeable difference. This is beautiful, and this was from last year. This I absolutely love. I like, it's looking a bit smudgy, but it's also because my lips under are a little bit red and on fire. I really like this shade. I think it comes down to what shade you're going to pick up for this year, if you are picking any. Obviously, it's hard to compare versus last year because we're having a complete different product. If you are liking something that is matte with sparkle, you're not really going to be liking this because it's no longer matte and it's now a gloss with a sparkle into it. Could have they just go with a gloss, like a tinted gloss with a sparkle in it? Maybe it would have been a better formula. Have they ruined last year's formula? I don't know. I think it's hard to say. I like them both. I think I prefer this shade of last year because I actually see the glitter, but I am going to be equally using this one. We are far away from Chanel. Chanel, once you add the lip gloss on it, that's it. You seal the color and the lip gloss and it's transfer proof. There's nothing moving for hours. Like, it's insane, it's crazy. This is not what I am seeing and feeling with this lip gloss. Don't get me wrong, it is, this shade particularly is beautiful, it's festive, and I absolutely love it. I will most likely pick up other shades because some other shades are really appealing to me. And I think if I take a step back and look at the bigger picture, and I'm also quite happy to be using my makeup all year around. That means if I am picking up lighter shades that are a little bit more nude or soft pink, baby pink, if we don't see the sparkles as much, that means I can wear it all year around just as a gloss, which is a pretty good thing. So, you know, there's a lot of pros and cons. I think I'm happy. I think overall I'm happy. They retail at what, £40 a year in the UK, £39, which is not too crazy. Like Chanel's lipsticks have gone even more expensive, and Hermès is just, you know, all the way up there. Same with Tom Ford. I was looking at buying the new lipstick. I'm looking at the new collections. I'm planning, you know, the few videos upcoming, and the Tom Ford lipstick are like £60 or £50, £60, whatever it is. I feel like there's no limit. So I'm quite happy that these are £40. I think it's quite, you know, it's expensive, but it's still affordable. And I can see myself wearing them all year around. This is very festive, and I don't think I would be wearing this in June, but that's me. You might, that's fine. And now that it's been on my lips for a little while, I like what I see. But it's not transfer proof. It's not like the Chanel. It's not the same. It's just not the same. So we can compare, but they are two different products. So if you want something that is glossy, long lasting, no transfer, it's Chanel, but you don't have the glitter. If you want something that has glitter, it's matte and it's transfer proof. I'm sorry, but that was last year. And this year, well, we have something that is not transfer proof. Depending on the shade, you see the glitter a little bit more or less, and it's very glossy, it's very festive, and it's also very feminine, it's very sexy. So, you know, there's a little bit of everything. It really comes down to what you guys like. You know, I think overall, it's a nice product. Also, I think we gotta bear in mind, I feel like that I heard a lot of people saying, well, it's not transfer proof, but who said they had to be transfer proof? Like, we also have sometimes, I think, unrealistic expectations. Like, does it have to be transfer proof? Maybe not. It's at the end of the day, it's a gloss. It's got something that other gloss don't have, and Dior, the design team, went into that direction, and I think it's a beautiful product. If you're not happy, then you skip it. As simple as this. But I think overall I'm quite happy, and also because I have so many other gloss, I know I can kind of mix and match a little bit my product and have different look. And if I want something, as I said, if I want something that is super long lasting, transfer proof, I'm just going to use my Chanel. Now I'm going to try something. I am going to, oops, I am moving the camera, I'm very sorry. I'm going to, on the back of my hand, on this year's version of the Dior, apply the lip gloss from Chanel and see, does it make it transfer proof? Let's just have, you know, a little bit of fun. My lips are just like falling apart. So let's see. I have applied it here. As you can see, it's very glossy. I'm gonna let it dry. And let's see if it turns it into a transfer proof glossy sparkle lip gloss for the holidays. Right, let's see. So it's on the back of my hand and it's been like 2 minutes, maybe, I don't know. And let's see. Oh my God, guys, there's a little bit of, you know, there's a little bit of gloss, but I mean, is this like, are we onto something? There's nothing moving. So, I think if you want to have Dior's Sparkle Lip Gloss, if you want to have Dior's Sparkle Matte Finish, turn it into a gloss that is transfer proof and doesn't move. Well, you need the two lipstick combined together. As simple as this. If you already have Chanel, you just swap this for this. Swap this one for this one with this gloss. And that's it. Happy days. And now you have a gloss that is with sparkle, transfer proof, that lasts very, very long. And everyone is happy. You know what? You just gotta use your creativity a little bit sometimes. And yeah, that's it. We now have something that is staying and has, and it's not completely transfer proof, but there's a massive difference versus the Dior. Like if I'm going, I mean, there's nothing, it's moving. But if you want the transfer proof, you just need your Chanel and your Dior together. Right now, I'm going to go and remove all the lipstick marks I have onto me. I am very curious to know what you guys think. Have you picked them up? What are your thoughts? Are you team matte sequin transfer proof? Are you team sequin glossy? I'm really curious. Or do you just prefer the Chanel that is glossy transfer proof? Let me know down below. You know what? Let's create a pool. I really want to see who is in which side or team. I'm gonna do that. Also, I will list down below the makeup I am wearing on today's look. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I have purchased the Dior holiday collection. I kind of caved in a little bit, but so I'm gonna do a full review. I've got the Chanel collection, I've got Guerlain, I've got, seriously guys, so many new products. I'm really excited. So stay tuned. There's a lot of videos upcoming to review all the holiday collections with you. And a big thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.